Good morning out there. How y'all feeling? I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host, Takia Ross. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great this morning. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Good.
good. I'm feeling good. I'm rocking and rolling. I'm
Mm.
figuring this dog out. So for those who don't know, I have a new puppy, and I think I'm figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? It takes a
Okay.
minute. You
Okay.
know, when you had a newborn baby, you be like, I think I'm figuring this thing out.
I'm not doing it. That was
I think. Speaking of babies, one of the things that I don't do is refer to my business as my baby. And so, and I'll be honest, when people say it, I cringe when they say it about their business. And
mm,
it's because I get the sort of metaphorical tie to like emotional tie to your business,
hmm
but I don't think I want that with my business. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it where people go, because this is your baby, because you did. And people say that all the time, because this is my baby. And it's like, bruh, the level of foreverness and I birthed you and now we can never part no matter what. And you're gonna sort of rely on me forever that you're or that I hope you sell your business and you never sell your kid. Like that level of emotional connection to my business, I don't necessarily want.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I can absolutely understand it logically, but
I'm so logical, by the way.
yes.
Yeah. There's that. It's me.
Yes,
It's
but
not them.
I can totally understand it logically, but I think sometimes the human experience requires us to make sense out of something that honestly sometimes just makes no sense. And a lot of times the
Mm.
tie to your business is that it makes no sense. Like as you navigate it, it makes no sense. Like it really does sometimes. And I think it's just
Mm.
the human in us trying to make sense out of this connection we have to our business, like why, you know what I mean, like why we hold it so dear and so near. And the closest thing, especially for women, because I don't hear men say it.
I don't hear men
Yeah,
say that.
but
I
I think
never heard a man say this
yeah,
because this is my baby. This
yeah,
my
but
business is my baby.
yeah,
Never.
but I
That's
think that's the thing.
interesting.
Yeah, because it's that, like, we're trying to make sense out of it, like in our being, right, in our being, in our womanhood. How do we make sense out of this thing?
But you saying something. You saying something because I'm really thinking about all the times I've seen men on panels, men speaking in just general community and relationships. They do not say, "Cause this is my baby." They never say, "Cause this is my son."
Mm-hmm.
Like they never, and nobody ever asks them about that. Nobody ever says it to them like that. And it's funny because I think there's these little nuances over time where like I also don't think people ask men how they're managing their business and their kids.
That's what I'm
How you
saying.
managing
Like,
your business and your
yeah,
kids?
and
How
that's
you
the
managing
thing.
your business and your
Yes,
family?
and and,
People
and
don't ask men that
motherhood,
either.
and
Yeah,
being
yeah,
a
yeah.
woman, and
Yeah,
all of
people
that.
don't.
And so I think it is a way that women have created, to be able to make sense out of it, not only for themselves emotionally, but for the world at large, right? For the world, so that people can see how committed they are to their businesses, so that people can see that this is something that they birthed, right? That they, like they have been working on and growing and nurturing and, and all of that. So we equate it to that. But also, I think women get a bad reputation. Like it's hard for people to understand anything contrary to women and their roles as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. Like, so when you are contrary to that, there are women who I don't want to have children, and think about how they're belittled. Like, how dare you? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, and it's just like, I don't want to have children. Just think about the fact that men can have vasectomies with no children, but women cannot have their tubes tied without having.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like that is like they will literally
And
say,
then a certain amount.
yeah, like they're like, no, you can't do it.
Amount of children, then they'll be like, well, I don't know. We should.
Yeah. So
Mm.
I think it's just, I think what we're in that we see the double
It could also
standard.
be the reversible nature of it, but I mean, still, that could be a factor because I think the vasectomy can be reversed.
Okay, but you still, and
But
so can a
still,
tubal ligation. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like it can be. It can be. It just takes a lot longer. Like, you know what I mean? Like the process might be different, but you can still have a child. Like if you decided, like that's why they have in vitro. Like you can have another child if you wanted to, but it's just kind of like, but why can't it be that I've decided that I don't want to?
yeah,
Ever.
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to. I'm
That's
fine.
true. That's true. Yeah, no, that's real. And I think like the different, relating differently in that way. And
Mm-hmm.
so maybe, thank you for saying that because it could just be my spidey sense of being like, don't put that on me. You know what I'm saying? I was a teen mom. You know what I'm saying? I got 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get that close to this business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my thing is, I think introducing it to women in that way only makes you really rethink it because most of the time, I know I did not start with the end in mind. Like I didn't start my business with my exit being a part of the start. You know what I mean? Like it was just like
and do you have a kid that way either? And
yeah,
that's a
but
part of the problem too.
yeah, but see but again, that's the thing. Like you don't, the similarities are there, right? Like that similar, so you're just trying to make sense out. That's what I'll say.
I also think that your business is your baby. Whoever birthed that idea, and it just got out there. Now people just say it for never. Like so, people. How like all the stuff that spread and we don't know how it spread. Like when you get a burn, you supposed to put butter on it. Who told what? You see what I'm saying? Like, or when you get, like all these different things that have just spread over time that we don't know where they came from, or we might know they came from like situations a lot of times or circumstance, and then they just end up being a thing. And so now I feel like people just say it, yeah, because your business is your baby. No, it's not. It's not your baby. Okay, it is your. I'd rather you say your business is your puppy than say your business is your kid because that thing ain't gonna never grow up and do it's supposed to do on its own without. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to have some infrastructure built around taking care of this thing. And then one day hopefully you exit. Well, don't even sell your puppies either. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even say that.
Yeah,
just say business is business.
Yeah, but I think the more that we have conversations like this to get founders to really look at their business as a way to build wealth, as a way to, fulfill, like in different ways. I think the more that we won't have to deal with the, business and baby type of thing. And it may be some founders that are okay. Like that. That's how I choose to manage or understand my business, and it's nothing wrong with that, but still having a conversation with a founder in understanding that what is the end goal. You know what I mean? Like what is your goal in running this? And it's different from motherhood, or sometimes it's not. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, sometimes it's not.
sometimes people tap out of motherhood. They tap out of parenthood. Like I'm done. I'm tapped out.
So here's the thing. The challenge there is like, is the issue with the description of motherhood or with the description of business being a baby, right? It gotta be like how in all the ways we could be thinking about what motherhood is, we made this assumption that business as your baby means that motherhood looks one way. You know what I mean? But it's like, but actually somebody's business as their baby might not be what you think it is according to your standards of business and baby, because their version of motherhood ain't the same thing that you're thinking about. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting thought around like, even there are some inherent challenges in that, even from the way that we describe motherhood.
Yeah, but I also think that it's also a challenge to the business ecosystem in and of itself to redefine,
the relationship.
Yeah, of business. Like it because then it comes to, like a lot of people say, like, if you're not scaling or if you're not growing, if you're not pushing to be this, then you're really not running a business, right? You'll get some of that. You'll
I
get
hate
some of,
that too.
yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like we have to, it's like a pushback against an entire system of things, right? Of the way that we manage, navigate, define, you know what I mean, structure business, right? And how it leaves out groups of people or groups of business, the ways business can be done. So I think that's a larger conversation that might need to be had.
I agree with you because I think there's this like, oh, because if you ain't doing it like this, you ain't running a business. You
Yeah.
gotta blah blah blah. But the reality is, who gives a like? Honestly, if you bringing money into your household, child, I don't care what you call it. You know what I'm saying? If you are sustaining your family, I don't care if you call it a hobby. I don't care if you call it a business. I don't care if you call it Girl Scouts. I don't care. I don't care what you call it. The goal is to make money and sustain your family. And then next level might be grow wealth, long-term assets, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that, like, to your point around the end of I started, child, you started a business with just the next day in mind. I'm just trying to make it through the month because I'm trying to just feed my kids or I'm trying to just do whatever I'm trying to do. Then you reach a point where you're like, okay, I'm settled in a certain way. And now I can try and move through that and say, like, well, what's the next level of me running this outside of survival mode? So I think that, like, I don't know, it's funny. A lot of the male messaging, I feel like, or the masculine messages is, if you ain't scaling, if you ain't trying to have 1,000,001 customers, you ain't doing nothing. Your business sucks and you suck and you're lazy. You know what I mean? And then, and in the women's promotion of it, on the women's side, it's like, your business is your baby. You got to really take care of it in a certain way. And and it's like, it's interesting, these different messages. So when we talk about a divide in investment, we are being socialized completely differently, almost mirroring the way we continuously socialize boys and girls differently as kids. Right? It's like there's a continuous social separation and socialization of masculine and feminine energy, and which one you hold too much of at one point, whatever point in your life. And I'll use it as energy versus gender, because I want to speak to it being fluid and the fact that we hold both, right? If you put forth more masculine energy and you lean into these kinds of narratives and you go more logical or black and white, or it is or it ain't, or whatever the case, then there's this view of you as being hardcore. But then if you go more like open-hearted and a little bit more like within reason, I'll say, right? And
feelings like that.
If you deal with feeling, then then people look at that as like, that's too much feeling, like, are you sure? Can you handle this investment with your feelings?
Yes.
When the reality is, all this stuff is feelings. Facebook was started off of feelings. Okay. Donald Trump is making every decision he's making off his feelings. So it's like, yeah, anyway, that's just some false narrative. Speaking of feelings, okay. Let's segue into this. I was pulling up the article, but then my computer started acting up. So I'm gonna see if I can find somebody else's article that works. But Jay-Z has a partnership with Target for an exclusive limited edition 30th anniversary release of his 1996 debut album, Reasonable Doubt. The $40 release is pressed on creamy white vinyl and features collectible packaging, exclusive alternative cover art, and there's a limit 4 per customer. The partnership has sparked a major debate as it coincides with ongoing boycotts against Target by Black consumers, following the retailer's rollback of its DEI initiatives. Critics are calling out the billionaire mogul for taking an exclusive deal with the company during the boycott, while others in the music community view the collaboration as a standard lucrative distribution move for collectible records. Let's get into it. Well, first of all, I want to be very clear, and I've said this from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, to day now. My stance is, Okay, because I said this because we have Target. Target supports Black Girl Ventures and the BGV Foundation, and they were supporting before all the stuff came out, or the stuff happened, and I have seen them support Black community. The thing about it is, like, I have so many different. So I've been saying from the jump, I'm not boycotting. I'm not boycotting. I have my Target deal. We distribute the funding to support community. I am not here to tell you where to shop. That's not what I'm here for. But what I am going to do is have this partnership with Target and invest this money into my community. That's what I'm going to do. Now, wherever you decide to shop, have at it. They're not asking me to come out and advocate for you to shop there. In fact, they're not asking me to try and convince you to do anything. They're not asking me for that. Standard things that you have to do when you have a partnership are standard things that we're doing. You know, say who the partner is, that kind of thing. But I'm not. I mean, somebody I want to hear your take on it, because I felt there's one thing when we talk about the boycott side of it, but somebody made a good point about economics that I loved. And so I'd rather have that conversation, because, I mean, not rather, like, definitely please say what your thoughts are. But I'm saying it to say, like, I've been clear that I'm not boycotting. I think that the release of the announcement was a comms hiccup, a comms mistake, because the steps they've taken are no different from the steps that anybody else took. And even saying that, they still kept supporting community, even with other people, Black community. I can't speak for all of DEI, and I'm not going to attempt to. Right now, I'm talking about Black community. So they continued their efforts supporting Black community. There were founders, and now I'm going to mention this because you know this, like I know this. There were founders that came, one in particular, actually, let me not say founders. There was one founder that went viral saying that Target intentionally pulled her off the show because of diversity. Because they ended DEI. Let me tell y'all something. That's not how these contracts work. Now, I don't know what her experience was, because she could have been in a hyper-local, different, unique situation. But from a corporation standpoint, on any retailer having you on a shelf, that's not typically how it works. Something else was deeper in that around, like, why she got pulled off. Now, I'm not saying she lying, because, again, I don't know what was happening in her specific instance. But with the idea of boycotting and initial selling and all that also was like, yeah, and then look at this one person. But I know many people that were on the shelf then and are still on the shelf now in Target that are Black-owned businesses. And that was my other part of my reason why I wasn't going to boycott. Because I'm like, these businesses still are there. So here's the other thing. In LA, it's Target. I can't even tell you what a Walmart is. There's no Walmart within a 10 to 20 mile radius of me. And that is crazy, because coming from the East Coast, I live maybe 3 minutes from 2 Walmarts. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so over here, I also am seeing it different, because these people have to work for their own livelihood at Target. But so I think, like, my last note, and I'm gonna hand it up to you. My last note is, when you're working at a level where you see inside the company to an extent, it's hard to reconcile the larger decisions that a company may be making. Okay, so stay with me. Even during George Floyd's murder, the response from that was not just an open window for, like, community organizations. There was an open window for internal employees whose voices who had not been heard to a certain extent to be heard in a certain way, right? I saw it's the employees for me. The employees keep us sponsor community. It's the employees' ability to fight back against this stuff, sit in uncomfortability, sit in these crazy meetings, whatever. That and I know these. I can know these employees by name in different ranks of these different companies and be like, if it wasn't for Adrian Lofton and Felicia Mayo, if it wasn't for them and Carol, if it wasn't for Wait, we might have to cut that out. I don't want to call these people names out directly. But if it wasn't for them, I don't know that I would have my Nike deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Right. And I'm not saying that to say that Nike didn't care about diversity. I'm just saying that, like, at that moment where we became visible in the efforts that we were working on, if it wasn't for my Target partner inside of Target, I don't know that I would have had the Target deal. Right. I think that, like, these employees, if it wasn't for my NASDAQ woman, if it was, and I'm talking about humans, I'm not talking about, sometimes when we talk about corporations, we talk about them as this like figment of this large thing. And I'm talking about individual people that fought for us inside these organizations. So for me personally, and this is a personal choice, as in leading a Black organization, like not fully Black, we serve diverse people. Like, honestly, literally, even before the whole DEI thing, like, it wasn't like we serve diverse people. But I'm just saying that to say that I'm not in alignment with the boycotts in the same way. I also feel like there was different targets, no pun intended, or pun intended. There were different targets to hit when it came to boycotting, and we let them slip through. I ain't gonna call no names. You know what I'm saying? There was different people, and then we celebrated when that celebrity got that big partnership with that conglomerate that ain't treating their employees right, ain't invested in Black community, and then we targeted the one that was invested in Black community. And so it's like, yeah. So anyway, I've said this from the beginning, so this ain't new. But so if you just now meeting me, then I understand. But I've been saying this since the jump that I wasn't going to be boycotting, even though we had our Target deal before all the stuff. But I knew the work that was happening, and so I was like, but again, I'm not telling you where to shop, and Target ain't making me tell you where to shop. You know what I'm saying? But they are supporting our efforts, and even right now, in all of let me tell y'all something. Okay, wait, I said I was going to get off this soapbox. Let me tell y'all what's happening right now. Okay. We might be facing an existential crisis at BGV. You know what I'm saying? And we had this Target deal before we got here, but they didn't pull it back. So that's just my experience. They didn't pull it back. They didn't slow down. They didn't get quiet like some other folks did. Like, they didn't. So I'll just leave it there. That's it. Okay, I'm done.
And I think that information is necessary, because I think that a lot of times we're working off of limited information or our own internal, drivers. So what I will say in regard to Target, as a consumer, I'm going to be honest, I was disappointed. Like, I think it was more, not well
in the DEI.
Like, so I'll bring it back to Jay-Z, right? Because I really believe that a lot of it, like, we have to do a better job of understanding how business actually works.
Blavity also announced that they partner with Target.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like, how business actually works. So that's why I started off as a consumer, somebody who loved Target, you know what I mean, who went to Target, was a Target creator, right? So I had a Target creator profile. Target was paying me to create content, right? Because, and I started really diving into Target because I love what they had in the store. I love what they stood for. And I was excited to see a lot more Black founders on Target's shelves, right? So I could get my Lip Bar and Honey Pot and, Kaleidoscope. I was excited when they would do their, Black History Month, collaborations with all of these amazing brands and affording them shelf space and, visibility. I was excited when they were collaborating with the Future Collective and all of these amazing Black designers, Kalani Barfield Brown, Sergio Hudson.
All that's still happening.
Yeah. Yes. Like, so we were absolutely excited about it. I think when the information came out, I think it was a PR nightmare. And I wish as a consumer that they would have handled it differently. That's what I will say. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Now, mind you, I'm a consumer and a business owner, right? So I'm a consumer and a founder. So I'm just kind of like, Like, y'all did not handle that well. You reacted before, like, your reaction was too swift, to this. Like, and so I knew that as a consumer, like, I felt the backlash, right? I felt it immediately, because I really do think that consumers, right, especially Black consumers, we fall in love with you. Like, now I'm in love with you. Now I'm in love with Target. Like, Target is Target. You know what I mean? And we're going in and we're having and we're la-la and we're twirling. So it was almost like, as a consumer, you took something from me. Like, I believe that you believed in the Black community. I believe that you believed and you had made space for us. I believe that, I was welcome here and I was comfortable here. And I think that in the light of who was elected, what started happening, and all of our feelings around it and facts around it, let's be honest. Like, when you pull back, everybody was like, no, F this, not doing it. Like, you lied, you're a liar. You know what I mean? And some of it came from that. As a founder, I recognize what is necessary to run a business. Right? I do. I recognize, like, a lot of brands, they didn't say that they were for or against Target, but you have to be quiet. You're in contract with them.
You have to be quiet.
You have to be quiet. Like, I'm in contract with you. You know what I mean? Like, my merchandise, and I might be in a 5-year contract with you. You know what I'm saying? For this particular shelf space, and I have to do certain things. So I have to be quiet. Right? It's nothing I can say to, and so I have to figure out a way, PR wise, how to manage and how to handle this, right? We don't know how long Jay-Z has been in talks with Target. We have no clue. We do not know when that contract was signed. Don't ever think that people just woke up today and was just like, I'm dropping, limited edition, reasonable doubt. Baby, this thing been in production for years.
Yeah, that's right.
This contract was in the works for years. And so pulling out of it now, you got a pull out clause, baby. You got to pay me, you pull out. Pull out if you want to. You're going to be paying me. So I think it's the nuances of business and how our consumers feel. That's what I will say.
Yeah, and I think that, like, consumers are immediately combating the idea that you can't tell me how to feel. When in the business deal, inherently, I'm not trying to tell you how to feel. or Jay-Z is not trying to tell you how to feel. The other thing about the Jay-Z Target deal that is interesting is around accessibility, right? You're talking $40 around ease of distribution, right? So we talk about it from a business deal standpoint. And then his brand can't go, like, Target has a prestigious look and feel to their stores and the way they are. So who is he going to go with that would be accessible, that would be affordable? Like, what was that going to look like? So I think that consumers automatically take this stance of, oh, Jay-Z trying to make us go back to Target. It's like, that's the only thought you're having. You know what I mean? No, there was this woman, but honestly, I think he is trying to set. Now, look, I don't know him, but I'm just saying, in one way of thinking about it, if you are open to, let me lead with this. When it comes to the Jay-Z and Target deal, if you are open to a different perspective, then let's have a business conversation about it, which is what Takia just pointed out, which is this was a long-standing conversation, and I'm willing to bet that part of that conversation was, how do we distribute widely and how do we be cost effective? Mm-hmm. Because in this, to keep it in 100, with Jay-Z's profile, he don't need to sell a $40 press release special unique version of this album. His team must be thinking accessibility. When you see that price point for a superstar at that level and coming back, if I don't know if the Roots Fitnet thing had to also be planned, right? I don't know if he knew he was going to do a freestyle, but that appearance also is planned. All of these concerts and all that also are planned. Like, if you don't know anything else about Jay-Z and Beyonce's way of doing business, if you take a look at it, they're not a fly-by-night, I thought about this yesterday, let's hurry up and do a type of brand. Nothing that they've done is that. And the way that, if you listen to, I listen to multiple interviews where they talk about Jay and how he thinks, he's methodical, he's intentional, right? And in that case, I can see why people would be like, why would you have this? But again, to your point, they're not taking the business aspect into consideration, that he may have had this conversation going for years before we got here. The fact that it's $40 is also like, why would he doing that for a reason? You know what I'm saying? He wants it to be accessible.
Yeah,
now, go ahead.
And we can be intentional also about our spend. So when you walk in Target, you don't have to buy any of the other things. Like, I've gone into Target since then, and I buy only Black-owned brands. I walk in the store and I let you know what my intentions are, right? I let you know I'm only here for the Lip Bar, Kaleidoscope, and Honey Pot. That's what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm letting you know that these are the brands that I am in alignment with, and this is why I'm walking into this store. I don't have to get my Tide and my Colgate, and you know what I'm saying? You don't have to get all of the other things. You don't. You can be very intentional about that too. And I would dare say that if we look into that deal, there may be dollars allotted for other things.
And people don't know that part. If I do this, you got to do this for Black business. See, we don't know that part. Everybody just start raging like we read their contract. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. And I think, oh my God, thank you so much for saying that part. Because in the backlash that people go after in these cases, in a business deal case, you don't know what's all in there. It's the same thing happens with voting, which is interesting in terms of, like, you don't know what's all in that bill. Sometimes people tack little things onto the bill just so that bill can get through. That level of politics about it never gets fully revealed at the consumer level. Yeah. So he's big enough to eat the backlash. People are gonna go get that album.
Yeah.
And let's keep it 100. Black folk ain't the only, Jay-Z ain't got only Black fans.
Yep.
So people, it's $40.
And people ain't sell out. It's going to sell out. And you don't know if in that deal it said, and now you have to give $4 million to, now you have to donate to, now you have to allot this for, now you have to do such and such. Now you, like, that's how these deals work.
That is how these deals work. And yeah, listen, you know what's interesting about that? You know who don't have the juice to do that? Jamal Bryant. But you know who does have the juice to do that? Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying? So, like, y'all were following this Jamal Bryant wave of like, oh yeah, how the hell did he become the leader for us? I mean, don't get me wrong. No tea, no shade to him being a pastor and there's all this stuff and all the things he got going on. I'm not, no tea, no shade to the man's character or nothing like that. But for someone to automatically take, we already, like, the community's already boycotting. And if somebody just take the stage and go, now I'm managing the boycott, it's like, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you're not.
And you know, as a historian, now let me tell you, I am all for a boycott. Like, don't. But wait, as a historian, okay, and I see our guests, we see y'all, we in this hot conversation, so y'all got to hold tight. As a historian, though, let's not, like, bring that in for a second. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is the part I want you to bring in this education part. My challenge with calling it a boycott is that there has to be a way that you go back. I mean, it's not a boycott if your demands get met and you don't go back. You've just changed your behavior. Yeah. And my thing is, and I think that is a conversation that needs to be had. Do we need to have, I'm trying to get the words together. Do we need a concerted effort around Black spending and our commitment to spending well in the Black community and to be respected as spenders, as consumers? I believe that there is. I absolutely believe that there needs to be a more concerted effort, right, around recognizing the power of the Black dollar, right, and respect said power, right? Some of it starts internally though too. And some of it is a behavior shift, right? Like we have to take responsibility for certain things. Like, and this is leaving Target out of it, right? When you think about boycotts in the past, they took responsibility for that. They said, you know what? It's not, and not everybody did it, right? Because we go back. Some of these boycotts, it wasn't the entire nation that did it. It was one community. One community said, we're doing such and such, right? And they shut it down in their community, right? One of the challenges in this global society is, I think what Omi is saying, and you alluded to, some of these things, some people, there is only a Target for them to shop at. That's it. That's the
right.
Only,
that was also one of my arguments.
Like,
that's
I can't boycott because that's the only place I have for me to shop, right?
So that's
fresh number
food.
one. Number two, this is where I work. I can't boycott. Like, I have to go to work here because this is my job. Yes. I think a conversation needs to be had about making sure, and we're not doing it, making sure that they have people of color at all the ranks, right? Not just at employee rank, but all the way up the ladder, right? Because some of this, and who have a voice and who have a mission to empower their community, right? Because you can have Black people in certain places and they don't have that same type of level. Okay, I'm just letting you know, okay? So I think there's lots of conversations that need to be had, and with us, and I want us to have it, especially when it comes to, if we're going to support Black business, if that is your stance, and you're saying we're boycotting and we're supporting Black businesses, then you need to continue to support Black business. You can't support Black business just because somebody pissed you off. You can't.
I think so. So I love that you're saying that, because here's the thing about that from a power standpoint. This is what I've been saying to people. If we don't have a way, we concentrate our power I think sometimes when it comes to the cancel culture, but we don't always concentrate our power when it comes to the make it pop culture. It's like the make it pop kind of just happens because we all ended up haphazardly gathering or just happened to join, right? And then it pops, and then you look at it and go, well, it popped because of Black people. But we don't control that part enough. We get into the, like, we don't agree with this thing, so we're not gonna do it no more. And then people don't do it, but we don't enforce our power on the Black dollar side consciously. So I think that's the interesting thing around, like, taking our power and saying, okay, when these three things happen, we will all go back. That is what I've been saying. Like, if y'all don't have that, then you lose power, because then they just determine, okay, well, this percentage of people's behaviors have shifted. What percentage of people are we now going to focus on? And I mean, if you dig into politics, and actually the Democrats do this a lot, they do the Democrats run this play of, okay, these percentage of people are just not going to vote, so we're not even going to focus on them. We're going to focus on this other percentage of people that might vote, and this percentage of people who are swing voters. So I think that when we talk about concentration of power, when we talk about the Black dollar and the Black dollar this, that conversation always gets me because, one, I know some behind the scenes information, so that always gets me. But that I can't necessarily say out loud. But so I'm just like, no. Do y'all know that? And I mean, this is not the back end information, I know, but there is technology measuring all of our behaviors on a regular basis. So these companies in general understand if you have just left and won't return versus if you will return. And that is based off of multiple levels of data, from social media habits to buying online habits to like, they are observing our behavior completely. So the idea of, I am going to meet whatever demands or go against whatever Trump suing me means in order to continue to support or continue to do a thing is not outweighed by the force that we have as a Black dollar, because we don't one reason, not wholly, there's no concentration of the Black dollar that can bump up against Trump suing or the government doing whatever they're doing or allotting, and then the government relationship to corporations is deep in terms of like foreign policy and different policies around how things can hit your shelf. your board, like the multiple pieces that they can go at these companies to suing them. But we talk about the black dollar, but the black dollar against that faction, I don't know that we're concentrating our power enough to say we can beat that, such that we control the behavior of corporations. That's the hard part of the black dollar conversation.
I agree. And I think more conversation and information needs to be disseminated about it, and I think that, there are levels of people who understand what's happening. Like when I ride past Target, I get promotions for Target. Think about that. I didn't even go in. I didn't go near it. And like we laugh about it, on our phones, like, oh my goodness, my phone is listening to me, and is. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, as soon as I went past there, all of a sudden I started getting ads for it, and did, right? And so they're doing a very good job of driving marketing and intentionality around what they're doing. I think we have to be very intentional around conversations about what the black dollar means, right? What our spend really is, what impact we can absolutely have on this economy, and how we can support and nurture and navigate in an economic landscape that in a country that wasn't built for us. Like it wasn't. None of the policy, procedure, economics was built for us. We're navigating inside of it. And so how do we do that? And how do we do it and not wear our own black businesses out? Because one of the things I hate to see is Target has made a mistake, and we went back, but let a black business owner make one. And that's all I'm going to say. And we can pull up Tamika Tucker, and she can help us phone a friend. Because
help us phone a friend. That's it.
Because that's the conversation I be wanting to have. Like for real,
child.
You make
the
levels mistake,
of let a black-owned business make a mistake, child. Y'all want to talk about the power of the black dollar? Hello, we want to talk about the power of black grace, black forgiveness when it comes to black-owned businesses. Listen. Small businesses, the expectations, the number of times you complained to an Amazon or a Walmart or a Target or a Sephora or Ulta or what, you complain to them, but you keep going back. Let one of us make a mistake. It's almost like I knew.
I knew you couldn't. That's why I don't support black business now, baby.
Let me tell. Oh my God. Let me tell you, I lead a nonprofit that we are putting dollars into small business owners' pockets to help them move their business forward. And I've had people say to me, as a black business, they're black business owners. I've had a black business owner say to me, that's why I want to support a black-owned nonprofit. That's why I want to support a black over something that honestly was out of my control, right? And that I apologize for and all of that. And we were communicating. Like it wasn't even like you came at me and I didn't say nothing, or my team didn't address you or something. It's just you were so pissed off about whatever happened to you. You weren't willing to listen to what actually happened to you. And then we even rectified it by even paying out more money. And the person still was like, see, that's why I want a full black child. I looked at that screen and I had a whole conversation about, and I said, what are you talking about? You are a black-owned business. You know what I mean? Like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like that whole black-owned business, that's why I don't support black-owned business thing. Y'all can miss me with that.
But a lot of it is in business, and that's one of many challenges that we're facing in this business ecosystem. Is one, we don't support each other, and when we do, is with a caveat, is with some kind of, you know what I mean? Like I'm begrudgingly, I'm doing it. Guess what? Bigger conglomerates, they see that, they know that. And the more that we keep saying it, that's how they can pillage our communities. That's how they keep getting our dollars. That's how come we keep going back, because they know that our commitment to each other can be taken by a mistake. I swear. So we have to address that too. Like you can't just address, we need to boycott, we need them to see us, we need to make an intentional commitment, not an effort. I don't need you to have an effort. This needs to be a commitment that I am supporting Black-owned businesses. And it doesn't matter that their price point might be a little higher. Try that. Because, again, they don't own their old modes of production. So they're going to pay more for their raw materials. So it's going to cost you more to get it. Until we spend more with them and get them more money and the ability to get bigger quantities, we're going to pay a little bit more. But if we got to stop this. It's weighing us out.
I felt that in my spirit when you said, they know that. Our ability to support each other is easily affected. And I'm mad at this part, you didn't say it this way, with the smallest mistake.
Yeah.
I'm talking Black-owned businesses. I'm not talking about Diddy or freaking R. Kelly, nobody like that. I'm not talking about that. Those are big conversations y'all have at that. I'm not talking about that. We talking about business owners, the business owners. We talking about community to support business owners. They know. The larger conglomerates know, and so we gotta cross over by going into bigger retailers, because we can't really, the idea that like the Black community might get mad at you for one little thing and then you can't be in business no more. That's wild. And some of it, and we are multifaceted, highly intelligent. We are Black women, some of the most educated people on the planet. Therefore, we have the opportunity to operate at levels of intellectual complexity where we can say, no, we're not going to support Cheyenne Bryant calling herself a doctor. Okay? We're not going to do that. But if she had come out and said, y'all know what? I get how this, my bad. Actually, it ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that deep for me to call myself a doctor. Yes, I got an honorary doctorate. Yes, I've done the study. However, I am a coach and I'm cool with that. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody. Like, then I would say, hey, let that go. You know what I'm saying? Okay, she is acknowledged. This is the thing. And I think the thing is, when you're Black in business and you even acknowledge to the consumer, hey, my bad. You know what I'm saying? How can I rectify this? Sometimes you can even be so bleeding heart. How can I rectify this? And people just be so freaking vicious. It's wild to me. And what we're talking about right now, to get every Black-owned business out there knows exactly what we're talking about. And that's also a part of the problem, because how is it that everybody knows this, but it's still happening? And guess what? If everybody out there know it, guess who also know it?
That's what I'm saying. They know already that it only takes for us to, and they also know that a part of business is making mistakes. Like, that's the only way. Like, that's literally the only way for you to have a dynamic business is to fail. You gotta fail at it. Like, you gotta mess up somewhere.
But you know what's so crazy about that? Is that in the startup community, you're more likely to get funded if you've had a startup that you did run and did fail, right? But we will hold each other to such a level of accountability around failure that we will look at each other and go, And even if you ain't have lies attached, or even if you didn't have, because there's deeper issues. Like, ain't nobody, don't couple this with the people who telling lies and out here stealing from community. Like, ain't nobody saying that. You know what I'm saying? No. But the space and grace, no, it's interesting. Anyway, let's bring up Tamika. There are some people who I've seen some people get grace, and I'm like, why did they give that grace? Yeah, like I literally like, y'all didn't see what happened. Said investor out here was loud and proud, and all of a sudden everything fell down. Don't do it. Okay, all right, I'm not gonna do it. All right, let's go to the next thing, y'all.
Tamika, because we need a phone a friend, and that's why
we need with y'all. Somebody help,
help us.
Come to the stage. All right. Today we have Tamika Tucker, and she is the co-founder of Phone a Friend, and it's a conversation-based support service founded by two best friends who believe everyone deserves someone to talk to. They provide affordable, judgment-free phone conversations for people who want to vent, process life, and simply feel heard. And that may be what we just did today.
Yes, that's what we did.
All right, let me
We did.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for your patience, by the way.
Oh, no problem. Hi, Omni. Hi, Takia. How are y'all?
Hello, beautiful. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Thank you. I was enjoying the conversation. It was a very spirited conversation.
Can you tell that we felt it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We feel like this is a conversation that needs to be had. And to be honest, you don't have it often. But speaking of that, you created this space for people to have conversations that need to be had on a regular basis to vent, process life. What led you to start this?
So I started this company with my best friend, and we've been friends for over 2 decades. And we've always connected through phone calls. She's not really a text person. I can go either way. I can text all day or I can be on the phone. So when we were younger, we would stay on the phone for hours. This was back before kids, husbands, work, being like true grown-ups. And, we would just process life, relationships, breakups, dreams, that we wanted to accomplish, frustrations with work. And we were talking one day and talking about how strangers seem to confide in us, with their secrets or their daily lives. And it's like people just wanted someone to talk to. They didn't necessarily have to be like your close friend. And that's how Phone a Friend came about. It's like we feel like somebody just needs a friend to talk to, like phone a friend. And we decided to create this space for people to feel safe and feel like they can vent and talk and get things out. And usually when that happens, when you talk to someone as y'all are doing now, you feel a lot lighter because you've gotten it off your chest. And that's what we hope that people will feel when they use our service. We're not therapists. We're not counselors. We make that very clear. We don't want a Cheyenne Bryant situation.
We just made her a verb. We're not trying to CB nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. We're just two people that want to have a space for people to be heard. That's it.
Okay, because that was going to be my question. Mm-hmm. So what if there's something that does get real sticky? Like mm-hmm. that is more therapeutic or needs some more like, somebody's feeling suicide. Like, how do you handle that? What happens?
Yeah, so we have on our website, we have a link to Psychology Today where someone could find a therapist that would be more aligned to, treat them or, deal with the professional aspect of getting them the treatment and the support that they need. And then we also have resources on our site, for the suicide prevention hotline. Of course, we would be reporting that ourselves if we felt that someone was going to harm themselves or harm others. But those are the parameters that we put in place when it goes beyond just a conversation and when we feel it's gotten too deep and someone may need some additional support.
How long are these conversations?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the shortest one is 15 minutes and the longest one is 1 hour. So we have and they're very reasonable. Like the 15-minute conversation is just $15. And then we have a 30-minute conversation, a 45-minute conversation, and then an hour-long conversation. So it just depends on what type of conversation the person wants to book. I had the first conversation the other day. So we were so excited to get that first conversation. And it was only 15 minutes. And she said that even with that 15 minutes, she felt lighter. She wrote us a review, which we are going to use in our social media posts. So we were very excited about that. And it's not about the money. It's about that feeling that she had, like I finally feel like someone heard me, because usually when you're talking to people, they're telling you about their life and how they experienced it and giving you advice. And that's not what people are looking for.
This is interesting, yes. because I be talking all the time. And so how long have you been doing this? Because you just said you had your first conversation. So how long?
We had our first conversation. We just launched our business a couple of months ago. So we have been working on this for over a year, just trying to make sure we've gotten it trademarked and it's a registered trademark now. We've got our website up. We had hurdles with like bank accounts and things like that, trying to get that set up because we are a virtual business. So they wanted a physical location and just all the things. So we've been working through it for over a year, just trying to make sure that we have a really good product that we could be proud of, and making sure that everything was set up in the right way.
For those on LinkedIn, it's friendshipsupport.com. Friendshipsupport.com. I dropped it in the chat if you're on YouTube, or if you're on and Facebook and Instagram. But StreamYard doesn't allow us to drop things in the chat on LinkedIn for whatever reason. So it's friendshipsupport.com. Okay, so what age? So talk to us about the process. So here I am today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to talk to somebody. I do what at that point?
Yes, so you can go to our website or on your phone or on a desktop, and you just click book now, and then it will give you a list of the different sessions that you can book with us, and then you complete your information and then pick your time that you would like to talk, and then we call you at that time. And we have our
you call the people.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yes.
And so how does it kick off? Because I think like in terms of like people, what's the comfortability of like easing into conversation? How does it get, so you're like, hey girl, you know what I mean? I'm just making something up. Hey.
Right.
You good?
No, I
like,
would say,
like,
so let's role play. So I would say, hi, Omni, I'm Tamika with Phone a Friend. Welcome. And I would say, before we get started, I just want to let you know that we are not therapists. We're not counselors. We're just a safe space for you to get some things off your chest. So tell me, what's been going on lately? What do you want to talk about?
Girl, when Jay-Z got his Target deal, you know what I'm saying? And we out here with these Black-owned businesses not support. Nah, but look, so what ages?
21 and up.
Yes, okay.
Only 21 and up. We will not be dealing with children. We felt like that was too risky. So it has to be adults that call into the service. When the people are booking, it's a little question that we ask to verify, that they are 21, and they are required to answer that question. If they answer no to that question, then we wouldn't be able to have the conversation, unfortunately.
You might consider eventually doing like an identity me, like that ID me, where people have to actually prove they're like a real person. So I would actually empower and encourage you to consider that. Where like you don't necessarily have to get their information, but that ID me connection will have them verify that they're a real human, who they are and that kind of thing. Because I think that might protect you a little bit more. Because there are steps that you have to take to do that. Unfortunately, it does interrupt the flow. So it doesn't make the flow as easy as picking up or like scheduling to talk to a friend. But over time, you made it a little bit more protection. Just
right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've had to do that with various websites, and it is kind of annoying, to have that extra step. But I do feel secure in completing it. It's when websites have parameters like that, it does make me feel more secure. So.
Yeah, and I mean to that point, it can make both people, like it can make the consumer feel more secure too. I was talking about your security, but I agree with you.
Right.
That like if you do it that way, then like you also feel more secure because you're like, okay, we got this, we got it together.
Right.
Is it just you and your friend right now? Because I got a question about AI. Is it just you and your friend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's just us two for now. We do have plans to maybe hire some 1099 contractors eventually that will take the calls. And of course, they will be screened, and we will train them and make sure that they know how to refer people to counselors and contact the suicide hotline if someone is in danger and things like that. But for now, until we build it, it's just me and my best friend.
Now, are you thinking about voice AI?
We haven't. Tell me more about that.
So that now there's smarter voice AI. So the voices that we used to get were like, press 1 to talk to blah blah, or like here's your account information, right? Like that level of like automated service and sort of like, but now they're moving it to a different level where now a lot of people you're talking to, like I called was it an airline or hotel or something with my insurance, but the lady was like, yes, I am AI, but don't worry. You can
Oh.
talk to me, right? And so I was like, okay. So I'm telling her, and actually, it was actually smooth sailing. Like she booked it, the thing I needed. That chance, like this ain't working. She's like, okay, well, let me tell you what we do have. Like it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But that is going to be evolving. We will be talking to more robots than not over the next. I would say even 3 years. We're going to see that voice AI evolving more. But
Right.
this is an interesting consideration for what you're doing in the sense that like people needed somebody to talk to. So ChatGPT has several lawsuits around being very affirming and that
Mm.
people were like getting addicted to it.
Oh,
And
wow.
so yeah, there's several lawsuits for ChatGPT around that. Because if you do use multiple AI, you could observe that ChatGPT is a little bit more affirming than like
It
Claude,
is.
or
Yeah.
it's more like great job, Kelly. You da 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 da. You know what I mean? It's like, but
Right.
it's always like I see what you're thinking, John. Like that type of
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am thinking that at some point, if you like wanted to scale this, and you might decide, and I know like people were like, no, we need humans. I think it's gonna get so humanoid that you will be able to actually have success with talking to. And at that point, if it picks up
Mm-hmm.
suicidal thoughts, if it picks up,
Right.
anything, it
Right.
can just immediately connect you to
Right.
someone else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now you're
Yeah.
not having to be liable. So I think there's gonna be multiple things there. So anyway, I would just say research it, think about it, because it is gonna be something that right now humans may not care for it, but it's gonna be something that becomes more part of our life, voice
Right.
AI specifically,
Right.
and people are gonna start adapting it more. So I would say like just take a look at it as you develop. But I think what you're working on is really great.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
We got some good comments of people being like, I like this idea.
Yeah.
It's a safe space. Like I never heard this before. This sounds wonderful. Like we have people in the comments just saying, I appreciate her approach. Many graduates need extra guidance.
Yeah.
Thank you for creating the site. So friendshipsupport.com. Go ahead, Tia.
No, I was just sitting here and I was like, it does battle the loneliness epidemic, because that has been an epidemic going
Mm-hmm.
around where people really do feel lonely, even surrounded by groups of people and having,
Right. Yeah.
thousands of followers, on social media. It's like you still feel lonely,
Yeah.
So this is really like I'm like, huh. I was writing my
Right.
little notes. To me, I write notes about everything. So I had to write my little note on the side.
Right. And even sometimes if you have that person, right, that you can talk to, y'all know how it is when let's just say a relationship, you talk about the same thing over and over, the same complaint over and over about your man, and your friend is just tired of hearing it, or you're tired of talking to them about it, and you just want someone who is unbiased, who doesn't know you, and you just want to get it off your chest. So it's also for those people who have someone, but they feel like that person has heard it all and they just want a fresh person to talk to.
Now, okay, so on that note, sometimes you call your friend because you want him to rally with you.
Right.
Man,
Right.
F that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? How dare him? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
how do you remain objective?
Yeah,
You
that's not
know,
us. Yeah, we're not gonna, we're not gonna egg anyone on. We're not giving advice. Definitely, if the person wants our opinion on something, we can tell them, our opinion. And, with that disclaimer, again, we're not therapists, we're not counselors. This is just something that I'm observing from our conversation, so we're just here to listen. And I think that's the difference, because sometimes when you call your friend, they're just as invested as you, and they're egging you on, and it's hyping you up, and you just needed to really get it off your chest, and then it transitions to them telling you, girl, I'll leave him, or whatever else the case may be, and that's not really what you need in that moment. So I think that's what sets us apart. You have friends in different categories. You have friends that will egg you on and support you, and they're ready to ride or die, and whatever you're trying to do, they're down for it. And you have friends that will tell you you're crazy. We're in the middle. Like, we're just going to try to be as neutral as possible and just let you get out your thoughts. And sometimes people come to their own conclusions and their own solutions just by talking it through. They just need to talk it through without being interrupted and without someone offering their opinion.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. Well, I like it too. Friendshipsupport.com.
Yes.
Friendshipsupport.com. Make sure y'all go check her out. Anything you got coming up soon, or you just launched it, so you just getting into the freshness of it all?
Yeah, we're just plugging away. We are so grateful for this opportunity to talk to both of you and your platform. And we're just, seeking more opportunities like this where we can really get the word out. That's the mode that we're in now. We've built it. We feel confident in it. So now we are just trying to get the word out. So if you're watching, make sure that you share this broadcast with your friends and people who may need to use the service, or just for awareness. We really do appreciate the opportunity. We're really grateful for it.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you. It was awesome learning about this.
Yeah.
And being able to share this with the audience. Yeah, for sure. All right, have a good rest of your day.
Okay, y'all too. Bye.
All right,
Bye, beautiful.
Our next guest is also here. This is one of the things I love about doing media. Like I'm moving off of my SiriusXM contract in October, so I won't have my Sunday show anymore. But who knows? Maybe I'll just start going hard now listen, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out the right timing.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do a midday show. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna work it out.
Yeah.
Because I do enjoy having a platform to bring people to share new things like this, because and when people in the chat are like, how did I not know about this, right? Like, or where was this? She just launched, and so that might be why you didn't know about it so far, but you will know about it. Okay, now you know. So friendshipsupport.com, go make sure you check that out, and explore. We are in a loneliness epidemic. And so people getting connected to people is super important. Our next guest, Kenya Crawford, it says Cultivating Healers. I'm guessing the name of the company is Cultivating Healers, is celebrating our anniversary in June. Since launch, we have trained and retained over 2,000 therapists. So we're going to hear a little bit more about what she is working on. So I'm going to bring her up.
Hey,
hello.
Y'all.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm thriving, riding the wave of entrepreneurship.
Yes, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Now, ma'am, when somebody asks you for a bio, I'm going to need you to break that thing down to 100 words and put it in the slide, okay?
No problem. Gotcha.
So tell us about what you got going on.
So I'm the CEO and founder of Cultivating Healers, and we are providing the antidote to the global mental health crisis through therapist retention, community, and CEU trainings. And I love that we were already having this conversation around loneliness, because therapists are lonely. And that is what Cultivating Healers is here to do, to support us and provide us with that community so we can heal our communities.
Where are you based?
I'm based in Philly.
Okay.
And I've always wondered that, right? I did, because I wondered who helps the helper. Because it's just kind of like when you go to therapy and you have a therapist and they've been listening to people all day, all week long, and you're just dumping, baby. You just out here giving them all of the business. And then I'm like, well, where they go at? You know what I mean? I'm being honest, like, because they got to be loose. After you deal with that, I know my therapist to be like, this one, take me now, Lord, because this one is wild.
It's the truth. It's heavy work. And without the right support or community, many of us burn out and leave the field within 3 to 5 years. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And then you throw in insurance and low pay. Like, people are fleeing the field, especially Black clinicians. And that's what we're really working to retain, because we don't find that community in the field, unfortunately.
So take us back a bit, right? You're a therapist.
Yes.
And so I tell people I gotta understand everybody's letter. So LMHE is licensed mental health counselor.
That is correct. Thank you.
So
people been mixing it up and saying a whole bunch of other stuff. So you did great.
So tell me about what made you go from just being a therapist to, I mean, I'm guessing you're still a therapist, but to broaden that up to be like, okay, I also want to help train and retain therapists in the field.
Oh, I love this question. Number one, I didn't see anyone that looked like me or was practicing like me. There were so many supervisors or faculty members or colleagues that were telling me to either be this blank slate or not bring my authentic self to sessions. And I'm like, I'm working with Black queer women. I gotta be me. If you're expecting me to just, sit back and not engage in the work, I'm not gonna be able to connect with the clientele that I want to serve. So for me, it was really kind of reminding our field that, look, Black folk are here, queer folk are here, we're taking up space, and we need space where we can be trained by other clinicians that value us and value our communities. So in the beginning, when I first started, I wanted to be a therapist that I wish I had when I was a child. As many of us, we know mental health was not something that we was talking about in Black households. It was, pray about it or do something else and kind of move on and don't sit with it. And I really wanted to shift that conversation in the Black community. So that's why I became a therapist. And then I got here and then I lost all my community. And I was like, okay, there were a few Black folk in my graduate program, and many of them are no longer in the field anymore. And I started to see this like mass exodus happening. And while I understood it and could, understand why someone is like, I can't see 7 people every day and hold the heaviness of this trauma, I also knew what happens when we leave the field. I thought about all the clients that they were leaving behind, all the families they were leaving behind, all the relationships they were leaving behind. And I thought, well, if we were trained by us and if we had community with us, I think we might stay in the field a little bit longer. And to date, we've trained over 2,000 therapists. So I think I'm on track with this mission.
Congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
Now, if somebody's... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just excited because my daughter is in school right now to get her to be a therapist. Well, she's doing social work right now.
Love it.
And so, like, I'm just like listening because I'm like, oh, baby, you need to make sure you do some supports because...
Yes. It's rough out here. So we got her. Once she enters the field, let us know.
I wrote it down.
What is the training? So, and then how do you count retention? So like when you say training and retaining, what does that mean?
Thank you so much. So when you become a therapist, after you get your 3,000 hours to become licensed, you have to complete something called continuing education credits. Each therapist has to complete like 32, somewhere in that range, every 2 to 3 years. But unfortunately, a lot of those accreditors are white folk, older white men, who are operating from a lens that's not applicable to many of my clients. So I thought, well, what would it look like if we hired Black trainers and became accredited with different accreditation bodies so that we can provide those continuing education credits? So right now, we actually just got 3 new accreditations about 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In total, we have 5. So I'm really excited about...
Awesome.
My apologies. We have 6 in total. And those accreditation processes are rough. It's a long process, an expensive process. So I understand how the field has continued to look in this way, but we're shifting that. So we provide at least 2 trainings a month. We also have about 6 on-demand trainings. All of our trainers are led by Black folk. 86% of them are LGBTQ. And we're really working towards making sure that our trainings are applicable, practical, and engaging. The goal here is not to just come and learn statistics about how hard it is to do this work, but how can you actually do this work in today's day and age? Because so much has changed since I was in grad school. Like we didn't have AI, or maybe we did, but it wasn't apparent to me, right? We weren't having those conversations around what it means to be a therapist on social media, a therapist influencer, talking about the economy, talking about our political landscape, right? We weren't having those conversations in the ways that we are today. So we really wanted to shift that by bringing in clinicians that look like us, that serve our communities. To date, we've launched over 30 trainings and have over 6 CEUs. So we track each therapist that comes in our community or our CEU trainings, and we keep touch. And we want to check in to see, okay, is your license still active? Are you still coming into the community? Are you still coming into different spaces and still serving, even if that has shifted over time? So that's how we've been tracking over the last 3 years.
So, okay, you're 3 years old. Because I was gonna say, with the 2,000 people that you mentioned, what is the retention rate over the last 3 years?
Beautiful question. So of the 2,000, 96% of them are still therapists.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Do you work with or have you ever partnered with Dr. Raquel Martin? She has an effort called Burn the Cape.
Yes. So she's also from Philly. We've been in community together. We haven't collaborated on a project just yet, but I know she's working on a book. I know she got a lot of stuff going on, so I would love to collaborate with her at some point.
Yeah, it feels like a great collaboration just because she has Burn the Cape is all about like how can she get Black women therapists, like Black therapists with Black women in communities. It's really interesting. And you have those therapists and you're training people. So I think that's amazing. And it could be anyway. So that was just my thought because I know she's in Philly too. What's next? So you have trainings, you helping to retain people. What's coming up for you?
I love this question. So we just finished our annual retreat a few weeks ago. That's a space where we get therapists together to not help anybody else, but to just receive. We had a sound bath healer. We had myself and another facilitator. We talked about kind of disrupting burnout as therapists and really disrupting high functioning depression that shows up in a lot of us because we can kind of present in this way that allows us to act like nothing is wrong when we're actually struggling inside. And I see a lot of similarities with entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
With this, right? We can show up, we can do the pitch, we can lead the meeting, but internally we're crumbling. So what's next is really kind of expanding that conversation, not just to therapists, but to entrepreneurs, particularly Black women who are leading these companies, leading these communities, but don't know how to really ask for help, don't know really how to think about the mental health struggles that are showing up for them as entrepreneurs. So I'm hoping to expand this conversation beyond therapists and talk more about what this looks like for Black women as entrepreneurs.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Oh, I feel the energy. I love it.
No, that's really good. So actually, I might reach out to you after this because I have a breathwork app, but I'm moving it to be for people who are in high performance work, high stress jobs, hospital staff, nursing home staff, and therapists fit right into that. So yeah, I was seeing some more information about it. Yeah. What would you like for everybody to know? Like if somebody's out there and they're a therapist right now and they're like, I'm on edge. I don't know if I can stay in this much longer. Or I've been looking for somewhere to go where people look like me, where I can get continuing education credits. What should they do?
Ooh, well, number one, I really want to shift this shame that shows up around therapists leaving the field. I think the reason why a lot of therapists aren't talking about how hard it is because other therapists or other community members shame you. Like, oh, well, you chose the field. You knew it was hard. Like, it's fine. And it's like, whoa, I'm still a human being, even if I have a license and a couple of letters after my name. So first, I want to just let them know that it's okay if you're having these questions. It's okay if you're questioning, shutting your private practice or terminating your business, right? Or sunsetting your business. I think we need to be having these conversations with a little bit more grace and care so people know that opportunity is present. Now, for the therapists that are like, look, I just want community. I just want my CEUs. Come on and check out Cultivating Healers. You're welcome to follow us online. Check out our newsletter. We actually have a training coming up in 2 weeks on parts work. So if you're interested in IFS or another modality, let us know. We also have an abundance of on-demand trainings and an online community where you're welcome to jump into our circle community, pop into a co-working session, meet another therapist of color that's working in the same way as you, so you're not feeling alone in maybe that predominantly white group practice or that hospital setting.
Is it cultivatinghealers.com or is it kenyacrawford.com? What's the website?
Cultivatinghealers.com.
Okay, cultivatinghealers.com.
I love it.
I'm gonna help you with media. Okay, we're gonna have a conversation about that.
No problem.
Because this needs to be something that that people know about. I think even from like before you pivot or move into like the entrepreneurship realm, I would just say that like people need to hear about this. Like this is really good. Like this is really dope. And so helping to keep those media properties focused will also help like spread the word more as well. So no, this is good. I think this is really good. This is dope because the continuing education credit part is everything. Like I don't know if people understand that, but like it's like that continuing education part being something that is in our community is literally everything. So like congratulations to you. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, I'm not to minimize anything else you said. Like yes to the like I'm saying healers, therapists, that kind of thing. But that I don't know, like that we're saying that like continuing education and therapists, but it's like listen, continuing education credits being available from someone who looks like us is literally everything. So like
you.
Yeah, like make sure you check out cultivatinghealers.com. Okay. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And make sure people know about this because this is really special.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. And thank you for creating this platform for me today.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting. All right. Have a good rest of your day.
Good day, beautiful.
Be well.
Right. Bye. Yeah, I love that. That's so good. I love all of the support. So it's funny. Therese in the chat, when I said something about the bio, she's like, BGV keeping it real. Listen, I want y'all to have all the things, okay? And I want all the things for y'all. You know what I mean? I want y'all to have all these, and I want all of these for y'all. So I'm like, I need when these little things. No, there's grace for sure. But it's hard for me to promote you if I don't have everything. So if I don't have if I don't have the bio, if I don't have the right website, if I don't have, then like help me do my job so that I can get, because what she's working on is so amazing. Like help me put it out there and help me walk away and give it to people.
And stop being humble.
There you go.
Stop it.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because the guest before her said, it's not about money. And I meant to say this and I forgot. Why isn't it? You know what I mean? Like the more good we do, the more money we make, the more money we make, the more good we do. Like that is what it's all about. It's okay that it is about the money. No, that doesn't mean you're going to be like sleazy or, you're not going to be efficient. But go make that money, girl.
Listen, but you know what though? A lot of times too, and I'm grateful. And sometimes it feels, because I'm a feeling person. Like it feels like, oh, like it does. Like it feels like, oh my goodness, right? Or like I did something wrong. And sometimes we got to move out of that space and be like, no, somebody's setting you up for your next thing. Like I don't ever want you to walk in and if they say, give me 100 words, you give them 100 words. You give them the website. You tell them how much your prices are. You know what I mean? Like you talk about your business. You come out swinging. And I think part of it is, and I say it all the time, especially for Black women, stop being humble. There is no place for humbleness in the business. You can be grateful. You can be understand. You know what I mean? Thankful. You can be all of the amazing other terminology. I don't have to be humble. The definition of humble means that you are in a lesser position. Like you are not. So walk in like I'm not. And yes, I'm going to toot my horn. Matter of fact, I'm going to blow it. I'm going to honk it. I'm going to keep pushing it because you're dynamic. You're awesome. You're amazing. You're phenomenal.
Amazing. And there's not one person that we have met that isn't amazing. Oh, you know what I mean? Like that, like, and in your own way. It's just like, so it's like the people that have been interviewing and coming, it's been like tomorrow's our last day for the 30-day show. So we'll be taking a break. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next 30-day show. So for now, I'll take a break. But I'm thinking that I got to take a break because the everyday thing be getting me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Gotta take a nap.
It do. It gets me. But what I think I'm gonna come back with in maybe 2 weeks is I think I'm gonna do an everyday breathing series. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I think I'll do every day. Yeah, I think I'll do an everyday breathing series and have people start tuning in to breathe. So We'll see, because I got to make it look right. I got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, give us our midday breath work or our lunchtime. You know what I mean? Take a moment. We need it.
We need that. We do need midday breath work. Good 30, 45 minutes a day. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Take a break to breathe.
Take a break to breathe. Breathe before you break. You know
Listen, all the things.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, and to the point of like BGV in a media property sense, I do think, thank you for saying like sometimes it can feel like a ding, because you've gotten it from me.
Oh yeah, wear me out.
Yeah, I know in the beginning. In the beginning when y'all put them invoices together, I'm like, let me tell you something.
Let me try to tell you something. You can't tell me nothing about an invoice at this point, okay? They be like, you've given too much information. Don't cut this back. I don't know what. Who taught you how to do invoices? This is the most thorough invoice I've ever.
But you know what you ain't gonna do? Not pay me. You know what I'm saying? You know what you can't say? I didn't understand what I was paying you for. Yes. When they get audited, you know who not gonna be a red flag? You see what I'm saying?
Me.
They like, I paid her $20,000 and it was fine because she told us exactly what it was for. You see what I'm saying? Like what that? Like listen. But here's the thing, and it's just who I am. It's in me. I can't help it. But it's because nobody people don't tell you.
No, they don't.
So people are out here thinking that whatever they did was okay, when like you could have gotten something else. And a number of times I've like either seen that happen or noticed that it happened to me. I'm like, I don't want this to happen to nobody else because somebody just didn't tell you because it's just like, oh, it's fine. That's another conversation. I have to bring that tomorrow because I could tell you more about that.
We're rant about that one. We've ranted early.
I know, we did rant. We did a bit of a rant. I'm gonna have to tell them when they do the social media clips. They're like, hey, I don't know how y'all gonna pick from those.
We might just
focus on the guests.
Yes,
you see what I'm saying? If y'all missed the rant that we had earlier, you got to go watch the replay for us. You just go to YouTube, go to the live section, and you're gonna have to find the rant there because I'm gonna tell them for the clips to just focus on the interviews for this.
Okay. Because I don't have a problem with them focusing on us telling us that we need to support Black businesses better.
That was good.
That is a hill I will die on.
You broke that down. No, you did that. You did that with the breaking it down because I think there's a power. What we need to talk about is power.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's concentrated, how we're using it, and that's what you were bringing out. You were bringing out like, are we talking about our power though?
Mm-hmm.
We keep getting lost in the sauce.
Yeah, about what other people are doing to us. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, hey, flip that around. But
we got 1 minute.
All right, go ahead and tell them about the summit.
All right, so a couple things coming up that I need y'all to do. All right, one, tomorrow, the page is live, so I'm gonna post it. Tomorrow is going to be 19 for the 19th. Okay. And so donate $19. You can donate it now. I'm going to drop the link. But tomorrow we're doing a TikTok telethon. So immediately after I leave here tomorrow, I'm going to be hopping right over to TikTok Live and having some conversation on TikTok Live about BGV, about all the things, about how we've been around for 10 years, about how we've done this work, about just, I don't even know what I'm talking about when I get over there for real. If y'all come, y'all want some pitch practice, I'm down to go. I love giving good pitch practice. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you if you're ready for it. But I love to give some pitch practice if y'all want to come to it. So all day tomorrow on TikTok, on BGV's TikTok at Black Girl Ventures, we're going to be having a telethon, and we're asking people to donate $19 for Juneteenth. So June 19th is Juneteenth, which is tomorrow. Is it tomorrow, Lord?
No, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
The campaign is running through Friday too, but tomorrow is when we're going to do the telethon. We can do the telethon on Friday because we not going to be at work, but we're going to do the telethon tomorrow. I sent y'all that. The other thing is the Futures We Build Summit, which is coming up. BGV's summit. This is our first summit ever. And it's gonna be a good time. The goal is for you to walk away with your AI team built. Like, I'm talking whole conference room full of people. Let's just get in there, bring your laptop, and let's build. Like that level. That's the idea is that. So we're gonna have some amazing stuff happening there. Also, I'm having a VIP. There's a VIP ticket where you get to come and kick it with me in a private event. Also and I'm gonna invite some of my good friends too to come join me at the event. And so we'll have like a private evening as well. And then there's gonna be a wellness day. So September the 10th is the full day summit. September the 11th, there's a full wellness day. So go tap out, chill out. Let's breathe. Let's sound heal. Let's talk to some therapy. Let's the chill out day. And then Friday is, and wait. September 10th is a full summit day. September 11th is going to be the wellness day. September 12th is pull up and pitch. And for the first time ever, if you buy a ticket to the summit, you will be able to secure your space in line at pull up and pitch, which is, we don't usually do that. Okay.
I love it.
So we appreciate y'all. BGVfoundation.org. Y'all can get more information about more things. Donate and participate. We need y'all. And when I say we need y'all, I'm not even saying that lightly. We literally need y'all. All right. So thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you, Takia. Tomorrow's our last day. I will see you in the morning. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We appreciate y'all.